Welcome back, folks. Today I wanted to talk again about rumored Witcher 3 DLC/expansion, which is supposed to come out in the first half of 2026 and will serve as a connection between The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4 story, kickstarting proper marketing campaign as production has been fully ongoing for quite some time now. But of course, being that I'm a bit of a pessimist, I do expect Witcher 4 in 2028, but having it in late 2027 would be amazing. Because the thing with The Witcher 4 itself is that it will be a huge game, so I would rather have them really tighten it up before the release itself, so the woes of previous releases can be avoided. But that's still far away. Let's talk about the rumor itself. Now, I also don't know exactly how to refer to this in terms of DLC or expansion, being that, well, CDPR labels DLC as free small pieces of content, with expansions being that big premium stuff like Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, and they cost money. So to avoid confusion, let's just call it expansion for now until we get actual details. So for everyone who was not following, back in June of 2025 we had Borys Nieszpielag. Sorry again about the pronunciation. Polish is my kryptonite. I really try to have names correctly as much as possible. And Borys is a known Polish insider. He is very close with CD Projekt Red, and initially he said that Fool's Theory, a studio which was formed a while back in Poland as well, will be working on that expansion. Keep in mind that Fool's Theory will also be working on the Witcher 1 remake when Witcher 4 is finished, so they can use the actual tech to, develop this. We know that also Fool's Theory was working closely with CD Projekt on The Witcher 4, or well, a small portion of the team was supporting that development. We found that out during one of the investors Q&A, as you can see it on the screen. So Fool's Theory is very close to CD Projekt in general, and being still involved in Canis Majoris, aka Witcher remake, we can assume their partnership is still ongoing. That means they are plausible to work on this, and so far in general, Fool's Theory is very quiet about what's happening with their company in terms of projects, besides the stuff that we already knew about, including The Witcher 1 and Thaumaturge, which was their game. And so far we haven't had both CD Projekt and them comment on these rumors, but there is a nuance. You see, CD Projekt doesn't usually comment on rumors. This was known, but they are known to say if something won't appear, like for example TGA last year. People expected them to appear with something, primarily, Witcher 4 stuff, but they did come out saying no, we don't have anything planned for it, so it's not impossible they comment on it, right? And indeed, there was nothing from CD Projekt on TGA. And I also feel that this rumor has gone too viral for them not to say something about it, like no, we are not working on it, because at this point, these are the topics that will appear on investors Q&A. I mean, I'm sure they would love to know that as well. But even then, CDPR was very secretive about their upcoming projects, besides of course what we know, and they did say that there are other projects in development, like we have Witcher Reigns, upcoming title developed by Nerial and published by Devolver Digital. Yes, it's a very small game, but at the same time, that was an extra we didn't know actually much about, and luckily this is not related to this situation, so the game which they were talking about is not Witcher Reigns. That's whole different thing. Silence is deafening, and I'm sure CD Projekt is aware of that, so if this thing is truly real, the news should technically be coming out soon. But as always, rumors expand, and I feel like there has been a lot of them saying a whole new area will be appearing, specifically something like Zerikania, location that is very much requested by a lot of people, and of course we had, talked about it even when The Witcher 3 initially came out. People were hoping for it. But recently we also had a former GRI Online journalist with connections to CD Projekt, because well, GRI Online is a very popular gaming news outlet in Poland, saying that Zerikania or stuff like that is out of question, and that people are looking at the horizon while the answer is right under their nose. Doubling down on earlier tidbit he dropped in early December that the new content will be an extension of the Velen region, not a whole new one. Now for me personally, it seems more plausible to have this rather than a whole new region, because those things require a lot of time, a whole new assets, a whole lot of stuff to be developed. And I feel like CD Projekt would not invest so much into it now, but rather having something extended like Velen is easier because, well, you can reuse assets, especially from, let's say, terrain, trees, the entire environment, because, as I said, Zerikania is a whole other beast to tackle. I mean, again, don't get me wrong, I would love to see it, but I feel like we have to be more realistic, and for a rumor this feels more believable than overthinking it and hoping for something much bigger that CD Projekt won't do in-house, right? I always felt like they are very careful about what they allow outside partners to do, and I doubt they would give them that much, because on top of that you have to count in budget and profitability, you know, when it comes to all of this. Now, even of course with CD Projekt overlooking the project, and usually you will have people who are already in CD Projekt to help out or be assigned to that project alongside Fool's Theory. Especially if you want to bridge the story between Witcher 3 and 4. It's one of the best ways not only to hype the game up, but to make some extra money, because CDPR's profit incentive from 2026 to 2029 is generating 5 billion zloty, or well, 1.4 billion US dollars. That's a lot of money to raise, and of course you can count in everything they already have, like existing games, third-party agreements, merchandise, alongside the Witcher 4 pre-orders and purchases, because well, this date does align with that as well. You know, a lot of people jump to conclusions that money will come from that new expansion, which sure, yeah, definitely if it's out, but it doesn't have to mean that. And yes, releasing paid piece of Witcher 3 content would sell. I'm a firm believer that the game is still very much popular and people would jump back instantly if that were to happen. So even from the monetary perspective it makes sense, and it won't take too many resources out of other projects. So that's why I think that this is actually very much possible. But I would not expect a huge expansion that spans to a whole new region. I don't see it happening. As I said, Velen sounds a lot more promising. But do we play a city or Geralt in it? Who knows? I mean, you already have city, you know, parts in The Witcher 3 where you play as her, and with some mods you can really play a city throughout the whole game, but that's, you know, just speculation so far. We might as well just continue with, you know, Geralt himself. Except we don't know how story will expand. Maybe we get to see, you know, Ciri transform into a full Witcher, you know, with the eyes and everything. Because she does become a Witcher in one of the endings, but besides Geralt giving her a sword, we got nothing else from it. Details wise, that's pretty much where the game ends. So for the end, yes, I do believe that CD Projekt is working on something. This thing has been dragging out for far too long. I mean, they have been very quiet, and being we won't see The Witcher 4 that soon, it's logical, and CD Projekt is known to revisit older titles, like we got next gen edition of The Witcher 3. They love that world, and they said multiple times if they ever get a chance to work in that world again, speaking about Witcher 3, they would do it. But when exactly is this coming out? Well, right now it's the first half of 2026 rumored. Some say May, you know, but look, there has to be a time for pre-orders and marketing. I doubt they would just drop it out of nowhere day one. Keep playing. So keep a lookout for their socials, because who knows what might happen. And to be honest, even that insider is putting a lot of trust on the line. I mean, for him, it's better that this turns out to be true, otherwise no one would ever listen to him. So he wouldn't say this if it wasn't, you know, something he was sure about. At least that's what majority of people from Poland told me about him, so I do sort of believe him. Just don't look at SteamDB please and say this or that is the proof. I've seen multiple people do that. You cannot see anything right now, as Valve has basically allowed devs to hide their, you know, internal branches, which, you know, we could see before. Like if you see a QA branch before, like you knew something was coming, either an update or a patch, whatever. Now, some people also pointed out the change history, showing me this. Well, that's just videos and stuff being replaced. The same is done for Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, it doesn't tell you anything whatsoever. And it seems to me they keep using GPT, or I don't know, maybe Claude or whatever, Gemini, to kind of analyze the SteamDB page. That also does not work at all. I've tried it actually to see like what people are coming out with, and the nonsense which is spouted out by the, you know, AI is just not really close to what is actually happening. And on top of that, we have Witcher 3 mods coming to consoles. That's also supposed to come out this year. Well, it was supposed to come out earlier, but it was delayed. And they're gonna be doing this in the partnership with Mod.io. So yes, they're still very much working on The Witcher 3 and expanding it. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. This video covers most of the stuff we know, and if it comes out, of course, I will talk about it. But yes, even for someone who is pessimistic like me, this rumor is starting to look more and more real. At least I hope so. So yes, I do hope they come out with the news soon, because I feel like something is brewing on the horizon and we're going to find out if this is true or not very soon. Thank you for watching, tell me down below what do you think about all of this, join our community on Twitter and Discord, and huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. I will see you very soon, tomorrow actually, with a new video. Bye bye.